Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a case that has haunted the San Diego community for over a decade, a story of a vibrant young woman whose life was tragically cut short and a mystery that seemed destined to remain unsolved. This is the story of Victoria, and the shocking breakthrough that finally brought her killer to justice. Let's go back to October 2011. Victoria was just 21 years old, a student at Mesa College with a bright future ahead of her. She was described by everyone who knew her as bubbly, kind, and full of life. She had a passion for dance and was a beloved member of her community. But on a fateful night, everything changed. Victoria was found brutally murdered in her own apartment in Normal Heights, a neighborhood usually known for its quiet, friendly atmosphere. The scene was horrific, and the San Diego Police Department immediately launched a massive investigation. Detectives worked tirelessly, interviewing friends, family, and neighbors. They collected DNA evidence from the scene, a crucial clue they believed would lead them to the killer. The community was on high alert, shocked that such a violent crime could happen in their backyard. But despite their best efforts, the leads dried up. The DNA profile didn't match anyone in the National Criminal Database, CODIS. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. For Victoria's family, the pain was immeasurable, compounded by the agony of not knowing who was responsible. The case officially went cold, filed away in a drawer with countless other unsolved mysteries. But the detectives in the San Diego Police Department's homicide unit never truly gave up. For them, a cold case isn't just a file. It's a promise to a victim and their family. They periodically revisited the evidence, hoping for a new lead, a new technology, or a witness to finally come forward. They knew the key was the DNA left at the scene. It was a clear profile, but it was useless without a name to attach to it. Victoria's family held on to hope, but as the years passed, that hope began to fade. The community, while never forgetting Victoria, moved on, with the memory of the unsolved murder lingering like a dark cloud. Then, in the late 2010s, a revolutionary tool began to change the landscape of cold case investigations: forensic genetic genealogy. This technique uses crime scene DNA to build a family tree by searching public genealogy databases, like those used for ancestry research. Instead of looking for an exact match to the suspect, investigators look for relatives, cousins, second cousins, great aunts, anyone who shares a significant amount of DNA. From there, they can build out family trees and methodically narrow down the list of potential suspects. It's painstaking, detailed work, but it has been the key to cracking some of the most infamous cold cases in history, including the Golden State Killer. In 2020, the San Diego Police Department decided to give it a shot. They partnered with a specialized lab and submitted the DNA evidence from Victoria's crime scene. The genealogists got to work, uploading the profile and searching for familial matches. It was a long and complex process, like putting together a massive puzzle with thousands of pieces. They found distant relatives and began building out an extensive family tree, spanning generations. Through meticulous research, cross-referencing public records, and eliminating individuals who couldn't have been the suspect, they started to close in on a specific branch of the family. After months of this intensive genealogical research, they zeroed in on a potential person of interest. His name was Abel. The investigators were stunned. Abel was not some shadowy figure living on the fringes of society. He was living a seemingly normal life right there in San Diego. He was married, had children, and was part of the community. In fact, he had lived in the same apartment complex as Victoria back in 2011. He was a neighbor. He wasn't on anyone's radar at the time of the initial investigation. He had no significant criminal history that would have put his DNA in the system. To everyone who knew him, he was just a regular family man. This was a major breakthrough, but it wasn't enough for an arrest. They still needed to confirm that his DNA was a direct match to the DNA from the crime scene. So, the investigators began surveillance. They needed to obtain a DNA sample from Abel without him knowing, a process known as surreptitious collection. They covertly followed him, waiting for an opportunity. Finally, they got what they needed. They collected a discarded item that would have his DNA on it. They rushed the sample to the crime lab for comparison. The results came back, and it was a perfect match. The DNA profile from the item Abel discarded was identical to the DNA profile of the suspect found at Victoria's murder scene over a decade earlier. After 11 long years, they finally had their man. The evidence was undeniable. In the summer of 2022, law enforcement moved in. The arrest of Abel sent shockwaves through the community. His neighbors, friends, and even his own family were in disbelief. How could the man they knew, the quiet family man, be capable of such a heinous crime? It was a chilling reminder that monsters don't always look like monsters. They can be the person living right next door. For Victoria's family, the news brought a whirlwind of emotions. There was immense relief that they finally had an answer, that the person responsible would face justice. But it also brought all the pain and grief rushing back to the surface. After so many years of uncertainty, the reality was finally sinking in. The subsequent legal proceedings revealed more details. Prosecutors alleged that Abel, who was just a few years older than Victoria, had attacked her in her apartment. The motive remains a subject of the ongoing court case, but the DNA evidence forms the backbone of the prosecution's argument. Abel has pleaded not guilty, and his case is now making its way through the justice system. For the community, the arrest was a stark confirmation of a long-held fear. For the police department, it was a testament to their unwavering dedication and the power of modern technology. This case is a powerful example of how science is rewriting the rules of criminal justice. Forensic genetic genealogy is giving a voice to victims whose stories were thought to be lost to time. For every cold case file sitting in a drawer, there is a family waiting for answers, and this technology offers a new glimmer of hope. It shows that no matter how much time has passed, justice can still be served. The journey for Victoria's family is far from over, as they now face the difficult road of a trial. But one thing is certain: because of the relentless work of detectives and the brilliant minds of genealogists, Victoria has not been forgotten. Her killer has a name, and he will be held accountable. It's a story that reminds us of the fragility of life, the resilience of the human spirit, and the incredible power of perseverance. We will be following this case as it develops and will bring you any major updates. Thank you for watching and for allowing us to share Victoria's story. If you found this case as compelling as we did, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into cases like this one. We'll see you in the next video.